Oh, there we go.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, everyone. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you so much for your patience, everyone. I think we're 10 minutes late starting today. Very unlike us. I do apologize. It was not Lisa's fault at all. It was all my fault. We had a few technical issues. But yeah, everything seems good now. So as I say, thank you for the patience. Thank you for joining us. And joining me is my very good friend and the incredibly talented Lisa Glanz, who I promise is going to be worth the wait, everyone, because Lisa's sessions with us are always amazing.
No pressure or anything.
No pressure. How are you today, Lisa?
I'm great, thanks. It's a little chillier today, but other than that, it's lovely. And you?
Good.
How are you, Tom? I saw you yesterday.
You can't get enough of me, clearly, Lisa. Yeah, I'm very well. I'm very excited for today's session because you're going to be showing us some iPad illustration magic using your brand new pack, which is the Character Drawing Toolkit.
Yay! So I don't know if we want to get stuck straight into it, or if you want me just to chat a little bit about why I created it and what's included. Maybe I should share my screen anyway.
Yeah, let's share the screen while we go through
it.
But yeah, I can't wait to see you using this because it looks so much fun.
It is fun. Okay, so the pack includes, Tom, just let me know if you want me to slow down if I'm lagging or anything like that.
It looks good so far. As always, before we jump in, everyone, this is live streaming. I know the internet in South Africa apparently has been taking a hammering, as most of the world has been. Live streaming services, etc., etc. So if anyone's having issues, the team are on hand to help in the chat, and they can help advise anything we can do. We've also pre-recorded this session with Lisa, so we're going to have a super clean non-live version available in our Learn section after this. But of course, it's fun to hang out live and answer your questions. Yay. So you get the best of both worlds. But yeah, Lisa, take it away.
Okay, so the set includes the usual brushes and shapes like my previous character drawing kits. But what I did do this time is include some worksheets that I just quickly, I'll just take you through some of them. So the idea behind this was I want to kind of empower people to build their skill set and not just give them brushes that they just stamp out and kind of never learn, the stuff on their own. So I'm hoping with these that I can actually inspire them to, start building their own library. Like, for example, this one is a library of expression. And I just give you some playful sort of prompts that you can work through. And then, of course, you're welcome to, on the draw layer, you're welcome to, draw your own kind of visions. And if you want, you obviously very welcome to, just take the opacity down of this one and then just trace on top of that, which is quite cool. You can go ahead and trace, just follow what I've done, if this pencil would work. There we go. So that's kind of like a fun exercise to do as well. And then if we look at the more tricky ones, I don't know about you, Tom, but my hand drawing skills are a shocker. So
everyone struggles with hands, don't they?
It is
I do as well.
Weird. Yeah, it's like one of those weird phenomenons about drawing. So this whole thing has really helped my hand drawing skills, actually, putting it together, because obviously I had to do a lot of research and a lot of worksheets and stuff like that just to get to this point. So it's really helped me. So I can testify that just doing these exercises really will improve your hand drawing skills. And the good thing about this is that, again, I've given you kind of options. You can trace on the drawing layer. You can either trace over my work, and then obviously in this area you can draw your own sort of vision of it. And then again,
that's great.
Yeah, so again, just tips and tricks on how to kind of break down the shape. And then for the not so realistic approach, I've also given you some ideas of how you can approach the more cartoony hand. And then just basically takes you through all the features like noses and eyes, Let me just open the eye one, for example. And I just give you kind of some idea of like how to approach some tricky angles and things like that. So those are super helpful, hopefully.
Lisa, this is amazing. I hadn't seen all of this. I knew, you know, definitely a lot of parts of it, but this is like a course.
Yeah, so it's like I was
a course in a product.
I was hoping to really, like, as I said, you know, give people the skills that they can take forward, and then hopefully, one day you won't need brushes and things like that to get you drawing, you know, that you already know all that stuff. So yeah, I'm glad you said like a course, because that was kind of the intention. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start. Actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll show you what we can.
Sorry, there was a bit of lag, but all good now?
Yeah, okay, good. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just show you what we're aiming to do today. So this little cute girl.
Aww.
And I'm going to go ahead and start with just a square 300 mil by 300. It's kind of like my go-to. Okay, so the thing with these brushes, if you're not familiar with them, the main thing to do is on each layer, you know, you should apply your brush on a new layer. That way you can actually transform it much easier and resize it and adjust it. So we're going to do that as we go along. And I'm going to start with the head and pick that one. So, the other thing I want to mention. So what I've done is I've named, I don't know if you can see, you know, different names of the brushes. I didn't want to just say head 1, head 2, head 3, because that doesn't really give you any idea of what they can be used for. So even though I have named them, and I did the same with you know, the torsos and things like that. Obviously they can be used with anything, but I wanted to at least give you a starting point so that you don't feel so overwhelmed.
That's a great touch, actually. If anyone's doing a self-portrait, it might be kind of self-deprecating if you're using like odd large forehead and that kind of thing.
Or banana shape.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know some people watching are really super new to Procreate. So what I've done is I'm just using the transform tool, which is the arrow right at the top. And I'm using, it's on uniform, and I've made sure that magnetic is off. Otherwise, it kind of like snaps to a grid, which we don't want.
Lisa, is it possible to drag this iPad window to fill the screen a bit more? Because we can see the background of your desktop.
So how do we do that? You see, the thing is just a square.
Okay, don't worry. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Sorry. I've got a smaller iPad. Which is probably
unless you hit the green button at the top for maximize. I don't know if that would work, or if it is maximized. Oh, look at that! God,
you are just so smart.
It doesn't happen very often, people, but when it does.
Okay. Okay, so the next thing is a torso. I'm going to use a kind of like a funny shape one that you wouldn't actually associate with a little girl, but this is perfect for what we're doing. So I've created a new layer with that one. So what we need to do is flip it again and just bring it into position. Probably something like that. Okay, so I'm just jiggling and adjusting as I go, and I want to add the legs. So under limbs, I've given quite a few, there's feet and a few hand sort of frames. And then you can build your own limbs, like, you know, from different shapes that are provided. But on top of that, I know there's going to be kind of beginners who are going to be struggling with that. So I've given a few pre-drawn limbs as well, which is pretty handy. So I'm going to choose that one. And in this instance, I actually want to just have one of her, just move that, sorry. I'm just going to use one of the limb brushes instead of just building up, the top and the bottom. And it's probably going to sit something like that.
By the way, Lisa, you know what's really cool is there's a lot of people watching live who are just discovering this new pack, but a lot of people are saying they actually did grab it yesterday when it came out, and so this is such great timing. Now they get to really see and learn how to use it.
Yes, yeah, because I know there's, as I said, there's some people, they're new people to Procreate, so I'm hoping this is going to really help them.
It will, definitely.
Okay, so I'm just going to actually group these. All I did was kind of move my my Apple Pencil kind of to the right, group it all, because I want to shift everything up and resize. It's a little large. Okay, so another trick to mention is with the limbs, you actually want to make sure that you're duplicating. Once you've done the one, you want to make sure that you're actually duplicating it, because you want the same size limb on both sides, right? So once you're happy with the placement, we're just going to duplicate that layer. And we do something like that. And a new layer again, we're going to add a foot. And each time I'm just, yeah.
I can already see how much easier this is going to make illustration.
Yeah, it kind of takes the
saver.
guesswork. Yeah, it takes the guesswork out, especially if you're struggling with proportions and things like that.
Yeah, but as you say, people really are just going to put infinite original spins on this.
Oh, absolutely.
So their work's no less original, right? But it's just, it makes it much quicker and easier, and then they can apply their own style.
Yeah, which is a fun thing. And, you know, every time someone tags me on Instagram to show me what they've created, I'm blown away at what people are doing with it. It's like, it's incredible. It's really, really cool. Okay, so you'll see, obviously, our limbs are a little weird here. So now we need to kind of individually select the arm. So I've just used the selection tool at the top, and then going over to my transform tool, bring it down. It's probably going to be something like that. Okay.
Is this you when you're competing in your dance competitions, Lisa?
I probably do look a little awkward like this.
I was going for animated, not awkward, but yeah.
Okay, so just another trick with cute characters, generally their heads are a lot larger than their body. That's just a kind of general rule, but yeah. Okay, so we're pretty ready to move on to sketching our little girl out. So I'm going to add a new layer, and I'm just going to fill it with white, and that will allow me to adjust the opacity as a whole instead of individually adjusting each layer. And I've just brought it down to about 90% or 85%. And again, a new layer, and now we're going to just start sketching out our rough. And I'm just using a pencil brush at this point. You can, you're welcome to use any brush that you feel comfortable, but for me, pencil brushes are the best.
You're getting a lot of Tim Burton vibes in the comments.
Oh, really? Okay, so she's wearing kind of like a little scarf. And this is just my rough, so we're not going to be precise. Just to give us an idea of where our line work's going to go. And I like to actually, at this stage, really start plotting out my, following the framework, because eventually we're going to turn the framework off and then just use our sketch layer as our guide.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got a little scarf happening.
You know what I'm going to ask, don't you, Lisa?
What's that? Is this me?
Has she got a name?
Oh, Tom. Okay, well, that's up to the crowd.
Exactly. We normally let them name. Let's maybe watch her take shape a bit more, and then they can name her when she's a full person.
And they always have the best names. You guys have the best names.
I know, they're so creative.
Yeah. Okay, so that funny little sausage I'm drawing is just her pigtail. Again, we're just going for the framework at this point. Wondering if I should turn the opacity down a dash. Yeah, better. Okay.
For everyone asking in the chat, by the way, this is the Character Drawing Toolkit. It literally dropped yesterday. And yeah, it's amazing. We'll show it off properly at the end. And if you're interested, the shiny green button below this live stream is where you can get it. But for now, Lisa is just going to teach us how to use it and how to do her beautiful illustration work.
Yeah, so this has been a bit of confusion. This is the People edition. So it is a little bit different to the original one that I created. And what I've been trying to do over, well, I'm hoping to add to it, specifically for particular things. Like, for example, the first one was just a general character drawing one, and then I came out with a bird one, and now this one is specifically for people. Okay, so we're just going to add some gumboots, very rough. We're just plotting at this point, nothing too precise. Okay, so I'm not going to add fill in the hands because we are going to do that at a later stage. I mean, it's pretty much there for us, so I don't want to go ahead and retrace that. Okay, so I'm going to turn off. Is that you, Tom?
Yeah,
what is that?
There's a little helicopter going past, of all things.
Oh. Okay.
Just not my stomach
just thought maybe,
grumbling or something.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm basically turned off the framework by just increasing the opacity back to 100 of my white layer. And we're going to create a new layer. Turn down the opacity of our sketch and start working on the final piece. And I can already tell that the scarf is a dash too high, but we can fix it as we go.
This is something we've seen in so many of these live workshops where it's just layer after layer and each layer gets more refined. And so I think when people are intimidated to jump in and do the perfect drawing, and it doesn't work that way, right? You just build it up and build it up.
Absolutely. And I think because I used to make the same mistake when I first started taking, illustration more seriously, you kind of expect your first go to be perfect, like the final piece. And I think it's the wrong approach. I didn't know that at the time, of course. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you'll just end up extremely frustrated.
Yeah. As the team is saying in the chat, do pop any questions in the Ask a Question feature below this video, and we will go through them all at the end.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just doing kind of like a rough plait. So I'm sure by now, if you've noticed from the original one that I showed you, what we're aiming for, I'm just going to use, this is basically just a pencil sketch drawing. We're not going to be adding any color. So the thing with pencil sketch drawings is that you need to then have texture variation and tonal variation, otherwise your drawing looks really boring. So that's what we're aiming for here. We're building up some texture areas. We're adding some interest.
And what brushes are you using right now?
Okay, so the pencil I'm using is from my delicious texture pack called Lisa's Pencil. So it's kind of like my go-to because it has like a really rough, almost scratchy feel to it, which I love.
Nice. I'm sure the team can link that up in the chat, but that's been so popular with our community as well. Everyone's been loving that pack.
Yeah, and it's I've been so humbled by it, by people comments and stuff. So they've really been enjoying it. Okay, so when it comes to like facial features and things like that, important line work, we want to be really, careful and really take time with that. That doesn't look very nice.
It's a lot nicer than I could draw.
Okay, so there's a little trick. All I did was I drew a circle with a little flick, and that indicates an eyelash. It doesn't have to be complicated. I think sometimes people overthink features.
Mm-hmm. Although often the simplest drawings are the hardest to do.
That's true. But I know a lot of people they aim for that sort of perfect, almost realistic thing sometimes, which, it doesn't always work out.
It's tricky. I think, Lisa, I mentioned when we were doing Honest Designers show, it was Quentin Blake who used to illustrate all the Roald Dahl kids' books.
Oh, yes.
And I loved his style, and I'd always try and copy it because I think it looked really easy because it was this kind of basic style, and mine would look terrible and his would look amazing.
Yeah. And it's so ironic how drawing kind of rough and simple actually takes years and years of practice. It really is quite a strange thing.
Yeah, so true though.
Okay, so I'm just adding some buttons.
You've got such a nice fan club, by the way. I know you can't see it right now, but you're just getting so much love and positivity in the comments. Hundreds of people tuning in all over the world. And, whenever we share your work or doing a collab with you or anything, everyone shows up. You've definitely got a lot of fans out there.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. I'm actually kind of shy person. I know you wouldn't say so, Tom. I know you wouldn't say so.
I definitely wouldn't say so.
But I actually am. So this kind of thing, I really appreciate. I really, all the support and everything. It means a lot. I suspect your legs might be a dash too long, but I think I'm just going to go with that. Okay.
That's right. Nothing wrong with long legs.
Exactly.
I remember when I had a growth spurt and I lost all coordination at school. You're quite tall as well. Did you have that? Where you suddenly grow a few inches as a teenager and nothing seems to kind of work properly?
No. Yeah, I had the weirdest build. I mean, I was called things like Skinny Malinx, Daddy Long Legs, the whole bag sheet.
I feel your pain.
Okay, so I'm going to turn the opacity down again of that layer because I want to see the hand. And the whole idea of these brushes that are already kind of pre-made, I want you to get used to what it feels like to draw hand shapes. And, it's that whole like muscle memory thing. And then eventually you won't need brushes.
But it's such a great learning tool. And a time saver. I've noticed though, Lisa, as experienced as you are, I often see you use your own products just for the time-saving element. And you're super experienced, but yeah.
Yeah, it is exactly that. And also for me, I find it's like a great kind of like creativity jumpstart, because you often like sit down with a blank canvas and you go, okay, well, I don't know what to do today. So yeah, it really helps from that point of view as well. Okay, so she is kind of getting there. And what I'm going to do is start adding some detail. So I don't know if there are any questions along in the comments that you want me to...
we'll do most of the questions at the end if that's okay, but there were a few questions about software, because I know this is primarily a Procreate pack. People have been asking about Photoshop and Illustrator and even Affinity.
Yeah, so I do apologize about that, because my other packs do include, Photoshop brush and Illustrator shapes. So I am hoping to include that in the next week or so.
Amazing.
For some reason, yeah, I just
will
wanted
that
to
be
get
a new
this pack
product
out.
or an update for this one?
No, what I thought, I'm not 100% sure because I don't want people to have to buy it twice if they want both. But at the same time, I don't want to confuse people. So I'm happy just to update the current one.
Oh, that's very good of you. So anyone who wants those versions could still buy this one today and then look out for it with the update in a week.
Yeah. So what I'll do is also include some printable pages that you can print out, and it's good reference for just drawing with pen and paper as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
cool.
so
you got some happy people in the comments with that one. So again, everyone,
yay.
if that's incredibly kind of Lisa. I know a lot of people do charge for updates and that kind of thing. Lisa's always fantastic about that. So if you do want to grab the Procreate pack available today and then check back in by the sound of it a week's time, there will be the additional versions in there. Yeah, everyone's saying super generous, Lisa. Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. What I forgot to do is add the other little plat. So it's probably going to be something like that.
Yeah, we've got a few people asking about Affinity. I think that would likely just you'd be able to use the PNGs. I know Affinity has different brushes.
Yes, as far as I know. So what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to do my best to see if I can make Affinity brushes with these as well.
Mm-hmm.
But because I'm absolutely new to Affinity and the brush making side of things. So if I can't, then yeah, you could definitely use the PNG files in Affinity. But I'm going to try my best, guys. Yeah.
But yeah, we can see there's more and more Affinity people out there in the comments. So
absolutely,
if Lisa's able to create those brushes, which I'm sure she is because she's very good at working this stuff out, do go and check out the Affinity section in our marketplace as well, because it is growing really fast and people are really loving all the awesome Affinity brushes in there.
Yeah, I just wish some of these things were more compatible across all platforms, but they're getting better though.
It is, right? It's not too bad.
No, it's not too bad. Okay, so I created a new layer for this because the reason why I did that, because in case we mess it up or we don't like it. So I'm going to go back to the other one and just keep adding detail. Okay, so we're going to start some shading work. I was actually in two minds about doing such a detailed sketch, illustration for the session. But what I thought was, I never get really a chance to show people my process when it comes to this. So I thought it would be a good time to.
Yeah, it's great because we've done quite a lot of color work and so on. And did you say today it's going to be the sketch and not color?
Yeah, so we're just going to do sketching today.
Amazing.
And also because I get quite a few requests for, for shading and that kind of thing. So I thought this would be a good opportunity. So I'm just adding some texture.
Do you like cross-hatching much, Lisa?
I actually don't, well, it's not that I don't like it, but I haven't actually sat down and really gotten into it.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own weird approach to that. I do kind of like a scribbly line.
No, it's nice. You tend to follow the contours of the light and the shape.
Yeah. And for me, it's only because the reason why I do that is because I really like that kind of scratchy feel that it gives. And yeah, I know. Obviously, it depends on your taste and your preference, but okay. So I'm gonna add. We're gonna kind of basically add a darker color to the boot, but I don't want it to be too flat. So I'm starting off with just it's kind of like a dot brush texture. It's also from my new pack, but you can use anything that has a similar vibe.
Have you done a fully colored version of this girl before, Lisa?
I haven't actually. For some reason, I've been totally into
sketching.
Just, yeah, so weird. Like I'd say the last month, I've hardly done color work, which is kind of weird for me.
It's really nice though. It's good to see this side of you.
I think it's going back to my original roots, because this is what I really used to enjoy a lot when I first started illustrating. Okay, so I'm literally just using pencil work, not being too neat, because as I said, I like the kind of rough and ready. And I'm just using the side of my pencil to get some shading. And Tom, you're keeping an eye on the time. You'll keep me in check.
Well, it's totally up to you. I want to be respectful of your time, and obviously it was technical issues on my side that made us start late, but I'm happy to run a little long if you are, because we started.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sure the lovely people watching live will not protest to that.
Okay.
Nicholas says there should be a meditation app. Honestly, like for everyone watching, you'll notice we've really been ramping up these live sessions. We've been having our monthly events as well. It's something we're really passionate about, but just especially with everyone stuck at home, I think it's more important than ever. Everyone needs to feel that sense of calm, and the community chatting in the comments, and just being able to learn and have that creative distraction. It's certainly helping all of us, and it's been really, really great to see that having a positive impact with the community as well.
Absolutely.
I do feel very calm right now, though, Lisa.
It's funny you say that. It's like for me, drawing, I'm sure everybody who draws has the same thing. It's just so soothing. I don't know what it is about it. Yeah, I can lose myself for hours.
Doing it or watching it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so again, just adding just a light bit of shadow work. And then going back to our little scarf layer. Actually, what I'm going to do is add another layer. And using my selection tool, I'm just going to draw the shape of the scarf. And use another brush. So this one's like a paper, kind of like a paper texture. And oops, just bring the opacity down a dash.
That made me laugh. We've a couple of amazing comments. So Joseph said these sessions are far better than the meetings I have at work. I actually learned something from them.
Those meetings are classic.
Yeah.
Where you spend so much time and you walk out actually learning nothing.
And Jamie says it's midnight here, but it's Lisa Glanz, so she can stay up until tomorrow morning for this.
Okay, so
that looks so great.
Yeah, we're gonna now add some just the final details of, she's obviously splashing water. So with just quick kind of what do you call it? Sort of hand movements.
Mm-hmm.
And little drops flying. And what I like to do is create kind of like a bit of shadow work with a scribbly line.
Oh, it's so stylized.
And what I like about doing this kind of texture work, it looks so rough, but it has, I don't know, for me it has such a playful vibe to it.
It looks a lot more elegant and deliberate than actually if you'd made it really refined, which is kind of ironic, but yeah.
And then a dash more of that. Okay, and then the final trick that I want to show you, that I kind of recently discovered, I'd say in the last 6 months, when I'm doing sketch work in Procreate, and I'm guessing you could probably do the same for Photoshop. So I duplicate. It may not work, it might have too many layers, but let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to flatten some of these layers.
I was going to ask how many you've used.
Yeah, I've used quite a few already, so I'm going to flatten. I just need to flatten one more. So I'm just going to merge that down and duplicate the layer that actually has my line work on it, and then bring it up to the very top. Come over to my Gaussian blur and just blur it slightly. I just want to show you, you know, that if you blur too much, it doesn't work.
Oh no, it said recording stopped.
Oh,
it's okay. Don't worry. We've got the pre-recorded one anyway. This is
okay.
a kind of backup.
Can you still see me?
I can't see the little girl. I can see the overview of all the different Procreate documents.
I'm gonna. Oh, you know why? Because it's now asking. So I'm gonna have to close this time if that's okay and delete this recording.
Of course it is. Of course, it's all good.
Okay.
Like we say, we've got the pre-recorded one.
I am screen sharing. Yes, I am. So can you please take me to? Sorry, guys.
Here we go.
Okay, so
and then are you able to full screen it again with the green button, please?
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay, so we don't want it too much. Probably something like that. So it's like a 2 to 3%. And then we're going to set that to color burn. And then it just gives it that extra kind of, almost like a lithograph feel, like it's been etched into a plate kind of thing.
That's really lovely. That's beautiful, Lisa.
So
I love it.
So we've got like a whole variation of texture and tonal things that's going on, which is, as I say, quite important when you're doing, you know, just one color work. And that's it.
So good. So good. Right, let's stop sharing for a second. Bring your lovely face back. Here we go.
There we go.
Everyone, let's give it up for Lisa right now. I don't want to clap too loud because I don't want to spike the audio, but yeah, let's really show some love for Lisa in the comments. That was amazing as ever, and the internet held up, Lisa. Woohoo! It was really sharp.
Was it? Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, it looked great.
Good. I'm glad about that.
That was so wonderful. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Great
pleasure.
We have quite a few questions. Lisa, could you do me a favor? In the background, in your browser, do you mind just bringing up the product page in the marketplace for this product? And then as we go through questions, maybe nearer the end, we can just kind of fly through that page to give people a good overview, because I know there's a lot of questions about the product coming in.
All right.
Don't worry about sharing your screen, but if we just bring it up in the background, that would be incredible, please. And I can see you've even been in the comments already responding to people.
Yes, I thought while we were waiting, I thought I'd basically answer some questions. Okay, so
cool. So I'm going to.
Sorry, I'm just waiting for my internet to.
All good. Okay. Yeah, so first of all, everyone's loving the session. For anyone who's asking about this pack, you can grab it directly below this live stream video, shiny green button where it says Character Drawing Toolkit, People Edition. If you click that, it is available now. And I believe it's 30% off, Lisa. Is that right?
Yes, 30% off. And
for a limited window, obviously, just for the launch.
Yes.
But yeah.
Just for the launch, yeah. And obviously that includes those worksheets as well. So not only are you getting those brush packs, you're also getting the worksheets, which is pretty handy.
Amazing. So you get the brushes, you get the worksheets, and you get the future software versions in about a week's time when that gets updated.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Lisa's generosity. So it's an amazing value product. I think it's going to help thousands of people. Even since we just put it out yesterday, so many people have been grabbing it, Lisa. So maybe let us know in the comments if you've already grabbed it or if you're grabbing it now. And we just want to say a quick thank you. And then we're going to jump into a bunch of questions because so many have come in. But yeah, Johannes, Eleni got it this morning. Just let us know in the comments if you grabbed it. And Lisa and I want to say a massive thank you. Russ yesterday. Thanks, Russ. Deirdre, Pamela. Oh, wow. Yeah. Loads. Too many people. Michelle, Cindy, Rebecca, Stephen, Emily.
Wow. Thank you.
This is backfiring, Lisa. Isabel, Garen, Ash, Haiti, Ruth getting it today. Sheena, Mariana. Oh, look at it. Tons of people. Well, we hope that you have an absolute blast working with it. Lisa, I don't know about you. Well, of course, you're the fantastic creator. I bet you can't wait to see what everyone makes.
Oh, completely. As I said, like whenever people tag me on Instagram, it's amazing. And I'm always blown away. I always think I'm like, I can't believe, what they can do with the stuff that I create. So I'm always humbled by that. It's really cool.
It's very cool. To everyone grabbing it now, I know we've had a lot of questions about the other pack, the Delicious Texture Pack, where you've got Lisa's pencil and all the texturing brushes. If you want to grab that as well, of course, in our marketplace, when you grab multiple items like that, you can save even more on your order. So definitely worth shopping around and checking out Lisa's store because there's some amazing character packs in there and texture packs and so on. How do you feel about some quick fire Q&A though, Lisa?
Yes, hit me.
All right, I know you've answered a couple of these, but maybe we can still re-answer them just because not everyone would have seen the answer. So Eleni says, hello, what is the best Procreate canvas size and resolution to use for these designs in order to make large prints, 24 inches by 24 inches and higher?
Yeah, so I don't know what I did in my screen. Okay, there we go. So as I said in the comment, it's always best to start with a canvas size that you want your final artwork to be. But I suspect that 24 by 24 is going to be too large for Procreate because you're going to be quite limited with the amount of layers that you can work in. So you might have to just fiddle a bit, but aim for obviously 300 DPI. That's your big thing, and at least. And then kind of figure out what's the biggest you can go, but still gives you about a 5-layer, working space. Because you want to be able to obviously, use a few layers to build your character first. And obviously you can once you're happy with your framework, you can flatten that down and then just use the other layers to draw on.
Amazing. Also, people have been asking about a replay. We do replays of all of these weekly community hangouts and all our live events as well that we're doing every single month. All of these live in our Learn section, and we're putting them also on our YouTube. And we've even started organizing pre-recorded versions of these. So as much as it's all gone super smoothly today, you can get it in high definition, perfect crisp quality, because Lisa's actually done a version recorded locally at home rather than live. So that'll definitely be super helpful if you want to go back through today's live session at your own pace, pause it, slow it down, and anything like that. So that'll be up very soon on our site. So we have a few comments about software. As we mentioned, you're going to get all the software updates in about a week's time outside of Procreate. A few people asked about Fresco, Lisa. That might be one to explore maybe, but
I'll look into it. To be honest, I haven't really done much Fresco work, only because I just can't keep up with all the different apps. But I'll definitely look into it for sure.
Awesome. Jody asks, what kind of poses can this tool pack make? Standing, running, sitting, etc. What about drawing a baby? So Jody wants to explore all kinds of characters and options. How much flexibility is there?
I think there is quite a bit of flexibility. You can definitely do standing, walking, sitting. I've got a few brushes that do like a profile sitting, and obviously the sitting from the front that just requires your leg placement. So the limbs that I included, you can literally take the top half of your arm and then the bottom part of your arm, and then you just put them in any position that you like. And I do actually have a baby head and a baby kind of just the body part in both front and side view. So there is there's quite a bit of options.
Amazing. And I presume that when Jodie talks about running, she's not referencing the baby. That would be quite impressive.
That would be weird.
Little baby sprinter. You can draw whatever you imagine there. Okay, so also Mary asks, I bought the kit and I see the instructional sheets of Procreate files. Is she able to print them as well?
Oh, so in the kit there's a PDF document that includes all the worksheets that you see.
So it's a PDF, it's not a Procreate file?
It's both. So there is a Procreate file and a PDF file. So you can definitely print the PDF file and work on paper, for sure.
Perfect. Eva has a pretty good question, actually. She says she's one of these people that can't draw people to save her life. Her people are stick people, etc. So how should she best approach using your guides? I guess the question is, if you're an absolute beginner, how do you start drawing people using this product? Okay,
so definitely, can I do a quick demo maybe? Would that help?
Yeah, let's do it, because like I say, it was my silly fault starting late, so we'll run a bit long if everyone's down for that.
And I also don't want to kind of, you want to demonstrate, because I think it's easier to see that. So let's quickly share the screen.
Just while Lisa brings this up, I'm going to reveal my reason why we started late today, everyone. It's kind of embarrassing. So I restarted my laptop a little while before the Hangout, and suddenly a warning comes up that says, your laptop's installing the latest operating system. And so I was Instagram DMing with Lisa saying, oh no, it's 40 minutes left, 30 minutes left. And we're like, it's so close.
Okay, so I would recommend, if you're totally brand new to drawing people, until you're feeling a little bit more comfortable, use one of the combo brushes where I've actually combined the head and the torso. So it takes kind of like the guesswork out of the proportion and placement. So if we just use that one, for example, and I stamp that out, and then on a new layer, I would choose one of the pre-made limbs. That's probably going to be your best bet. So maybe something like that. And then just do what I kind of did in the other one, where we're just going to select individually and just move into position. And sorry, let me just pick one of the feet. Oh, let's go with that one. Oh, sorry.
Oh, nice. Bringing up Instagram. You're just going to see my DM saying, Lisa, help me.
And of course, you can, stretch it however you prefer if it's not kind of working out for your shape. And there you've already pretty much drawn a person. And all you have to do is create a new layer and start your, your sketching. So that kind of really sets you up without having to think too much.
Yeah, you can do it literally with drag and drop and tracing to start with.
Absolutely.
Just to graduate from doing stick figures, you can graduate to doing solid figures.
Yes, and the nice thing about that, it starts giving you an idea and a sense of proportion, so that you can actually start tackling them on your own rather than using the pre-made limbs. You can actually start building your own limbs. So hopefully that kind of shows that it's not too daunting.
Yes, absolutely. So Rebecca is asking, what actual pen are you using? Is it an Apple Pencil?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, easy one to answer. So Iskander says, hi, Lisa. And we love Iskander, by the way, long time design cutter, one of our favorite community members. So shout out to Iskander. But Iskander asks, "Hi Lisa, great job with this kit. My question is, what inspired you to come up with this wonderful, flexible, and highly educational tool? Thank you for this."
Oh, what a great question. So I've obviously got a lot of requests from people to do the people version, because I mean, as we all know, people are quite difficult to draw. So although my character, the original one, is quite flexible and you can definitely draw people as well as animals and things like that, I wanted to create one that was very specific for people characters. So that was the main reason, was due to requests. And the other thing is, I am one of those people that I just love helping other people get better at something, at something that I feel that I can help them with. So I always try and pack as much value into the set to help people. So that was the reason behind my worksheets. And I try and think of what would be an easy thing for a beginner to use. So that kind of like inspires me and pushes me to create these kind of things.
Amazing. And Lisa, I think I've shared this with you, how we are soon going to be releasing the biggest ever guide to how to create incredible digital design products and resources.
Oh, yes,
and you feature very heavily in this. And this is just going to be a massive free resource showing how to do it. And continually we're like, and see what Lisa's done here, because she's like a shining example. So yeah, you definitely go above and beyond for sure. And Iskander says, thank you, Lisa, for answering.
You. Cool, thank you. I think it's important. Yeah, sorry, just to finish off.
No, please.
Topic. I was just going to say, I think for anybody who is working in this field and want to get into it, it's important to remember that you want to really do your best for others, because in doing that, it equals a successful product. So that's why, yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. We've had a few people asking about how to get notified, and I think their friend told them, but they didn't hear directly from us. So if you're not yet a member at Design Cuts, our team can put a link in the chat. And when you sign up, you get, I think, 22 free products, including some kindly contributed by Lisa, Ian Barnard, and other amazing people. But simply by signing up and by grabbing any of Lisa's products, you will get notified of future hangouts that we do with her. We don't send these to everyone. Obviously, if someone has no interest in Procreate or illustration, they don't hear about it. But yeah, if you're kind of part of this world of illustration, we'll definitely let you know about things in the future. So I hope that helps. We've had several people, Karen mentioned it and Dawn seconded it, as well as a few people asking, are there any plans to add limbs to the animal drawing kit?
Well, what I actually want to do, I think Mary also suggested it in the comments. What I was hoping to do is create a animal-specific kit that will have limbs and things like that specific to animals. So yeah, the original one, as I said, doesn't have those kind of things, purely because that was the first one and it kind of like was my baby. So as I got better or understood what people needed, the packs grew, hence why I included limbs in this one as well. So I might think about doing that for an update for that one, but I actually want to go forward and create better and better and better versions of these. So yeah, I can't say yes or no. I hope it answers it, but yeah.
It does, and I can't wait to see what you have up your sleeve next as well. Mariana asks, do you draw from imagination or are you looking at references typically when you draw?
Okay, so it's a little bit, but it's not really a reference. Like what I do is I have obviously a couple of Pinterest boards that inspire me. So what I do is I kind of like look through them and spend about 10 minutes on Pinterest, and just to get my creative kind of juices flowing and get me in the mode for stuff. And then through seeing all these kind of things, an idea starts forming in my own mind of what I want to do. So then when I sit down and draw, it's kind of, I have an idea of where I want to go. So it's not really reference, it's more just like a little spark. Does that make sense?
Yeah, love that. Collyanne asks, when you use your Apple Pencil, do you use a light touch the whole time? Mine gets so thick as I draw with it. Or do you change the pressure curve to keep it light? Because you do seem to have a pretty deft touch when we watch you draw.
Yeah, I've never actually had that problem. I can only imagine that she might be, she might not be careful enough when she's applying her stroke. So when I say careful, maybe mindful enough. So don't necessarily, go for your final stroke on the first hit, unless you want that kind of look. But what I do is I tease out my line work, and that way I can control what it looks like. So the first few strokes, you're a bit more
gentle and you build it up.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So the first few strokes, you might actually not even see anything on the canvas. So it's I'm kind of like prepping my angle and my motion, so that when I do actually get anything on the canvas, it's in the right position and the right pressure. So don't go head in and for the final piece all at once. Kind of tease it out, if that makes sense.
Yes, totally does. We've had a few people asking about the brushes, again, that were being used for the drawing itself and the texturing. The team will put them in the chat. It was the Delicious Textures pack, which is one of the most popular in our marketplace. People absolutely love it. It's a fantastic pack. And aside from how great the brushes are, I love them just for the names. So Lisa's pencil is one, but they all have really cute, adorable names, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I had a bit of fun with that.
I think we've got time for one last question from Jay, and this might need a demonstration if possible, Lisa, if you're happy to share again.
Cool.
So Jay asks, Lisa, can you please show how to change a straight limb into a bent limb? How to add a joint elbow or knee bend? Thank you.
Oh, okay. So
is that possible before I put you on the spot?
Yeah, so that would be, then you wouldn't use the pre-drawn limbs. You would actually use, okay, so let me do this again. Every time it's like a new adventure. Why aren't you working?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah, it's come up. We can see it. So we're seeing the gallery right now. Oh, no, here we are. Yep, we can see it.
Okay. So what you would do is, I've got kind of like formal, I call them formal limbs, because they're just basic shapes of the upper and lower parts. So for example, if we wanted to use, the standard, I would go with the upper part first. Bring that into position. And then I actually did a poll on my Instagram asking people what they'd prefer, if they wanted, kind of pre-made limbs or the flexibility of this.
I love the flexibility of this.
Yeah, it was like a 50-50. So that's why I included both. So the thing with that is that's another reason why I included that middle sort of circle, because that gives you an idea of where to place them. And it's also a good place to know where you should be rotating the joint, if I can call it that. Mm-hmm. So again, you would want to oops. Oh goodness.
The answer is that you can 100% easily pivot and have bends and elbows and knees though.
Yes. And then as I said previously, you want to duplicate that limb because you want it the same size and the same, sort of thickness and whatever. And again, it's really flexible. You can squish it and do whatever you need to.
I feel like an animator is going to have a dream with this. And for anyone that joined us for last week's session, we had Austin, who's an incredible animator, doing a demo. I think if he got his hands on this pack, he'd probably be mimicking some of my dance moves on a Saturday night out.
I'd love to see that.
Well, I know you're a national level dancer, Lisa, but I'm sure I could probably teach you a thing or two,
Definitely.
That was an incredible session. Could I possibly ask you to share your screen one final time if you do have the resource page open? Because I'd love just to give a final overview for people to talk them through the pack. There you go. David says he does animation. I hope you have a blast working with it. Perfect. So, if we're at the top. We thought it would be helpful just to talk everyone through, because we had a look at some of the worksheets, but this is going to be a better overview of the pack. And again, you can get this via the shiny green button directly below this live stream. If you grab it up with any other packs of Lisa's, you can save on your order, which is so worth doing. And it is 30% off for a limited time because it is just launched in our marketplace. So definitely check it out if you're curious or on the fence. I think this will be a fantastic resource just to get those creative juices flowing. But take it away, Lisa, if you want to talk us through it.
Yeah, so as you can see from the very first character I used on the cover, that didn't really require too much thinking in terms of, drawing people. So that was a good example of what you can do without too much experience. And then, I wanted to also show all the different types of characters that you can create, not just only children or cute people or women or whatever. It's like a whole combination of characters that I try to include. And you can have some fun and stretch your imagination basically, and do characters that you don't usually get to do. And then I also wanted to show the kind of different unusual body positions that I have of some of the torsos that I know are super tricky to draw sometimes. So when I created this, I was actually thinking of a little girl swimming, and then for the example, I ended up doing a mermaid. So hopefully that made sense. And then
it's so cool. Each of the characters is just delightful.
Yeah, and I also wanted to show, it doesn't have to be complicated, like your features and things like that. You can still achieve, really cute stuff without getting too complex. And then, of course, I wanted to show how complicated you can get with your characters. Like this one actually has all those, what I just showed you now on screen, Tom, all the different limbs, limb positions, and how you can change them and move them. And
Jessica Rabbit vibes on that last one.
this was quite a weird thing. It took me down
it's quite a departure from the normal cutesy
stuff. It is. Yeah, it was. So it was a lot of fun. I must say I got so caught up
very
in that
cool
one. And then so this is a good example of some tricky positions, like poses that I always used to struggle drawing kids or anyone, cycling, for example. And I wanted to show how there are some brushes that actually help you with that. And I don't know why that's done that, but I suppose it does help.
Yeah, kind of works.
So this is actually a good example, what I was saying early on in my the girl piece, that even though obviously an arm has two sections to it, you can still use, one of the longer limbs for just an entire arm. And so it's totally flexible. It's, you don't have to build out your arm if you don't want to do two sections. So that's also helpful. And then, so this is a good example of how one brush can actually, one shape can be many different characters. So you don't have to be limited to, just one shape. And here's a good example of how I called this brush elderly, just to kind of give you an idea and help you as a starting point. But then, of course, I created this cute little chubby man with the same brush. So very flexible.
Very nice.
And then, this is just the worksheets that you get, that you have an idea of, that I showed. Oh, and the reason why I wanted to add this in, so as we all know, getting better at anything is just practice, right? And the shapes are brilliant for that. If you want like an everyday kind of, drawing exercise, just like if you want like a 10-minute drawing exercise every day, like just bash out one stamp and then see how many kind of faces you can come up with.
So versatile.
It's a good, so it's a good way to practice your feature drawing and things like that.
Very cool. The bottom left guy in that grid looks like me at university.
Really?
I didn't know I had curly hair until I couldn't afford haircuts.
That's hilarious. So then I just tell you which texture brushes I used from which pack. And that's it. Little chubby guy.
So amazing.
So I hope that was helpful.
Incredibly helpful. And again, you can get this pack for 30% off just for this limited time launch. So do go explore it. It's the shiny green button below this live stream, and Lisa will very kindly be adding additional software versions if anyone missed that: Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity, etc. You'll be able to work in all those softwares and use the PNGs and brushes and so on. So look out for those. But Lisa, thank you again. That was amazing as ever.
It was fun.
And we haven't even had a proper chat about this yet, but we of course have more of our ginormous monthly events lined up, and I think you might have heard from our team today with a special invite. So providing that,
what is that?
We've got more and more of these great live events lined up, and
cool.
We can have a separate chat after this, but I think everyone's going to see much more of Lisa this year, because we always love having her on and sharing her incredible talents with all of you.
Oh, thanks, Tom. It's always fun. I love these sessions, even though, believe it or not, I'm a bit scared sometimes to draw live, but you guys are
don't be scared. Look at how nice they are. I'm actually like, you're always nice, design cutters, but you've been particularly charmingly amazing.
I love you guys. And then we have an internet problem.
We went the whole way. My internet dropped out at the end for 3 seconds.
Hilarious.
Yeah, basically, I was just ranting about how much we love all of you guys and how amazing you are. So thank you for being the best community in the world. We appreciate you.
Yeah, you are. You guys are great. Thank you.
Lisa, thank you again. I'll chat to you soon. And everyone, we will see you same time next Thursday for another community hangout. See you then. Thanks so much for stopping by. Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.
Bye,
everyone.